before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge, Total Landscape Solutions.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Light flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Light flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. The squared circle where legends collide. No mercy, just a wild ride. Light flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
We are live. It is 6 p.m. on Wednesday, our new time, our new day. I am Sean Stanley. That is the great Frankie Fresco, sir. How we doing?
Good, man. Is your internet okay, man? You seem kind of blurry right there.
Am I blurry? I look fine on my end. I'm probably blurry. I probably not then. I don't know.
Well, we could hear you, so you look a little bit blurry, but you're good. We could hear you.
Well, it's probably better that you can't see me anyways. You know, it happens. That's what happens. So,
yeah.
Thank you, and I want to thank Finn Sammy. He put that intro together for me. Adrian already in. Papa's in as well. Mr. Frankie Fresco, did you like the PLE this past Sunday night?
It was I'll give it a grade of a C. I think the reason I give it a C is because if you got Sheamus and Rusev being the best fight of the night, it's a little bit concerning. Granted, those guys can go ahead and go at it, but that was the best match of that premium live event. Becky and Nikki Bella was terrible, bro. That was such a bad fight. It was really bad. It was disappointing. And then at the end of the day, I think the whole Bronson Reed, Roman Reigns, I think they took forever to like knock out Roman Reigns. I didn't like it, and then it was kind of like a letdown. The last match of the night. I mean, granted, you know, I was a little bit pissed. You know, Seth Rollins goes and says, "I don't need any help," and then all of a sudden you got Becky Lynch come and help him. Like that kind of like contradicts what you were saying. You said you didn't need any help, and now all of a sudden you need Becky Lynch to help you. So it was just kind of sloppy. It was a sloppy live event in my view, and for that reason, I gave it a C.
C. Okay. All right. What's interesting is I gave it a B. Again, it's not saying it was not the greatest, PLE, and it was what I expected it to be. Again, when they go to these international audiences, you're not getting necessarily the grandioso treatment. I think where they lost me was, and this is the interesting thing that because leading up to it, they said there's going to be a part of this show where it's going to tell you what we're doing toward WrestlePalooza. And it did. And we're going to talk about that next. Down the line, actually, not next, but, I just really expected something, I guess, maybe more. I don't know why. We know what they do. We know how they do this. But I thought it would be more along the lines of, I guess, Cena and Lesnar, not necessarily being Seth and CM Punk being the one. I just, like, being that buildup, I just automatically, I guess, assumed, and again, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, and I did that. But I just thought there was going to be a better build for WrestlePalooza because, again, as they said on this one, this was the last, PLE of the Peacock era. The cock is gone for PLEs.
Pause.
But, huh?
I said pause.
Okay. No, I'm not going to pause. No pause. No pause. But you will get WrestlePalooza kicking off the ESPN coverage. And, I mean, again, I get it. We all, some people are happy. Some people are not going to be happy. But for me, I guess I shouldn't complain, right? Because I complain when Lesnar does show up. And now I'm complaining because Lesnar didn't show up.
That is true.
I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here. I mean, I don't know but I wanted it to be a bigger damn surprise. I thought, honestly, the Roman thing was set up okay. It was set up okay for the fact that he gets the Shua Fala back. He chokes out Heyman, so Heyman's out of the main event. And then you've got, I think where they messed up is where Roman went to the table the first time. Again, I don't know if he was supposed to do that or he went there and then went back into the ring. Like there was something off there. And if that was the original plan, then the logistics of it just didn't seem right because once he went to the table, I expected Bronson Reed to spear him. Not Bronson Reed, sorry, Braun Breaker to spear him and put him down because I figured they were going to do something to write him off because he's going to do the filming.
Oh my
But
God, Steven, don't say that.
what happened?
He wrote, I really
did
hope Dean Ambrose comes back to help Roman. Dean Ambrose will never be back, bro.
No,
He
I
is
don't see no.
AEW
Yeah.
all day, sir. AEW all day.
Yeah, and plus he wants to do what John Moxley wants to do. And that doesn't necessarily fit into what WWE wants to do. John Moxley is doing what Dean Ambrose wanted to do in WWE now.
I feel like
And,
I feel like the premium live event is similar to like the quality of your video. Not that good. And the reason
Yeah. So,
it happened like that, and like you said, we didn't get Brock Lesnar. Um, didn't the Street Profits also fight in that premium live event as well?
yeah. Well, we thought it was going to be because there was mention of another match getting added
Yeah, we
at
didn't even get the match
SmackDown.
that we predicted.
We were told. I mean, well, again, the one that they were aiming for when we had our show was supposedly a rematch of Drew and Randy, and it didn't happen. It was the Street Profits getting on another PLE, and of course, you know what happens when the Street Profits get on the PLE? They ain't winning. Ain't happening.
They never
And you're
win.
not beating. Well, not only that, but you're not beating the Wyatt Six
No.
the day of the opening of Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, come on, ain't happening.
Not only that, but why are they teasing again this breakup between the Street Profits? It's like this is something they've been doing for. They
They
did
do
this
it
a
every
while
time.
back, and now they're bringing it back. Like, come on, man! It's like, dude, I like the Street Profits the way they are. I don't think.
I think they should do what like a baby face does and be like, Montez goes, hey, I want to go and try to win a singles title. Keep them as a team if needed, but have them go and look to see if they can do something singles wise as well. If that's what they want to do, that I can understand. But like to tease the breakup for what? You're going to feud Montez against Dawkins and then one has to be like, that's way back in the day. Like,
Yeah, they already tried this.
It
Why are they
doesn't.
bringing it back? Like, you should have already. If you wanted to break them up, you should have broken them up a long time ago. Now you're trying to bring it back. I guess because I feel like they need to. I don't know. Like, I thought the Street Profits. I thought the tag team division was doing pretty well, and they have plenty of tag team competition out there. And we all know that the YS6 is not gonna go ahead and lose anytime soon because of what you said, Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights, and then let's keep it real. You got Halloween right around the corner as well. So like, it just makes sense not to go ahead and get rid of them, or get them to lose their belts. But hey, you're clearing up. That's good. I don't know what you're doing, but it looks like you're clearing up. We can finally see you.
I'm not doing anything, man.
It's your what do you call it? Dial-up internet connection, Sean. You gotta upgrade, sir.
Oh, I'm getting a fax. Hold on. I'm getting a fax. Hold on. But I'm watching on my phone. I don't look that any worse than I normally do.
You got better. It was looking because I
Oh,
have
wait.
you on my phone.
Oh, you know what it is? I got to stop moving so much. My camera's trying to adjust
Really? Is that what it is?
because I sit in my chair and I do this, and then my camera will start trying to adjust by following me for
Oh,
some
see right
reason.
there. See, look. You see how rough it looks right there? Yeah, it looks a little bit rough.
Yeah,
But
because I keep moving. I gotta sit here and be quiet. Hold on a minute.
you don't have the 4K like I do, bro. Look, see, I could move
I
like this so
do,
people
but
can see me.
what happened was I tried to adjust it to be differently because I've been playing a lot. I was trying to get a better background, but I ran out of time to what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because I have the other thing that I have to take care of that takes up, majority of my time. So it just it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. So I kind of just threw this one together to get on air here
I like this one.
today.
This one's
I
pretty cool. I like how you don't inform your co-host any of these changes, but it's okay. The intro is really good. The on air
It's our
thing is
show,
really
but
good.
I'm making the changes, buddy. All right.
Yeah,
You have no
man.
say in anything.
No say
I just
whatsoever.
tell you it's your show, buddy. You know what's funny? I've been watching the Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys documentary.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
No.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the Jerry Jones and you're Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, great. Now I'm gonna have to tune in and see what you're talking
And I
about.
only say that because I'm like the owner of whatever, if you want to call it that, and you're not the coach, but it's just funny how like I just got to that episode where they discussed the way everything went down as far as him firing Jimmy Johnson. It's pretty.
Well,
Freaking
where are they showing it, on Prime or on Netflix?
No, it's on Netflix. It's called America's Team.
Oh, I'll take a look at it.
And oh yeah, man, it's dude, it's good, man. It is very good.
I've been watching today. I've been tuning in trying to figure out this Kawhi Leonard, Steve Baldwin thing
Yeah,
where they're
that's
like that
man.
thing is ridiculous. So that has me entertained.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to figure. I mean, well, Like, I don't understand. The one thing I don't understand is this with that. And then, again, I know this is wrestling, but they're like, oh, they're going to investigate. It feels like the investigation's already been done for you. I don't know what else you're going to investigate, but unless Pablo Torre got fake documents, I mean, he's got the documents that show. I took a picture of it and slowed it down from the video where it shows like KL2 shows Kawhi Leonard as manager
That's pretty
and owner. Like, and you gave 28. And the other thing is, what was from one article, they said they made up the company. They didn't make up the company. They made up his LLC, and other stars had done work for the company and been paid. Kawhi Leonard has never done anything for the company and has gotten $28 million to a company that Steve Ballmer gave $50 million.
Yeah, it's kind of shaky out there. It's not good. Not looking good for those guys.
It's like a pro wrestling thing going bad here and there. Anything else from Paris? And again, the international crowd saves it, the energy wise, as far as the pay per view goes. But again, it's one of those where they knew what I had a feeling it wasn't going to be. Again, it's Clash in Paris. It's not like it's a SummerSlam. It's not one of their big 4 pay-per-views. It's overseas. It's international. You get what I thought it was going to be. I honestly, the one match that surprised me was them putting Rusev over Sheamus.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna win.
No.
We really honestly we both chose Sheamus to win that one. But
yeah, I really thought that and again, looking back on it, neither of them really have to have the win.
No.
But to me, it's Sheamus's Donnybrook match, and you put Rusev. Again, it is what it is at this point with that whole situation. Anything else you want to discuss Paris-wise?
I do want to say this again. The crowd was amazing, but it was also trending that some of the fans were getting too close to the wrestlers, and one of the ones
that was them going into the arena. Yeah, that was crazy.
One of the ones that was being really hounded was Rhea Ripley. And there was video of her, like, bro, she was getting bombarded. Now there have been fans that have gone out to defend and say that they pay a lot of money for this, so they should be able to get access to it. There was one particular fan I read online that he paid close to like $4,000 for like the VIP experience, and apparently what he got, he was supposed to get like a special main entrance, or like he was able to skip the whole line and all that stuff. And he said that he was late, like they delayed him and everything, so he wasn't able to.
Didn't delay him. The problem is they sold more than what they thought, so it took longer to get in. So it took longer for them to get in, and then he paid for a thing, and it was but here's the thing, man. Like, how many times do you have to go through this before it's like, oh, okay, that's what. Like, they don't change any. You don't get to see Cena. You don't get to see.
But keep in mind, this wasn't here in the States. This was in Paris. So
I get that.
But Paris fans are gonna assume that you're gonna get like a full.
Why? Why would you assume anything?
Because you're paying an arm and a leg to get into this, to get all these perks. Like you're trying. Who's gonna spend $4,000?
You want to spend that money? Spend that money. Obviously, they are. I mean, dude,
Sean. Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if I'm paying all that money and then like in the photo,
Frankie, if you don't do your work to say, hey, what is the possibility? Let me look at what happened at other PLEs and other things to see who did they have at the meet and greets before I go and pay $4,000. It doesn't matter. They had events lined up all throughout to where Cena was doing Make-A-Wish. Cena was doing other things. Like, just because you buy seats and then that's shame. Good. I'm glad you had the $4,000 to waste.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the principle, Sean. You're spending $4,000, and then when you're gonna go take photos, it's the Wyatt Six, it's B-Fab, and somebody else. I forgot who else was the other person that was in there. Was it Rusev? I don't even think it was
Yeah.
Rusev. It was somebody
I believe
else.
it was Rusev or
Was
Sheamus,
it?
one of the two.
Okay, so you have that, and you get like 5 seconds of each one to take a photo,
Mhm.
and that's it. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, you're selling these packages. I could understand if you're in the States and you went ahead and you bought it, and you're a dumbass and you knew that. You should know by now, right? We all know this, that when you're in the States, you're not gonna it doesn't live up to expectation. But I could understand somebody in Paris who probably went ahead and said, "Yo, this is cool. They're giving me all these perks. I could go ahead and use it." And then all of a sudden, you get pretty much screwed over because you didn't get what you expected. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
but you placed the expectations. That's WWE didn't say, "Hey, you're going to be in the building in 5 minutes. You're going to get a picture with John Cena and Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre and Rhea Ripley and all this." They didn't put that there either.
You're right, but if you're
But
paying
you're
four or
paying the
5 grand,
money.
you expect, like, you're expecting that. You come on, let's keep it
You
real.
can
Like,
expect it. I expect that I'm going to get filet mignon tonight for dinner. Guess what? I already know what I'm getting. It ain't that.
cereal? You're getting some cereal?
I'm getting some cereal and tuna fish.
I mean, I will tell you this, man. I think if WWE keeps selling these
And
packages and this
Judge,
stuff,
thank you for coming in, and Jordan Kirby too. Sorry, I'm sorry, Frank. I didn't mean to cut
no,
you off,
you're
but
good.
I just saw we got some new names in the chat. So thank you guys for jumping on board here.
Absolutely. And Judd, I got my ticket for All Out, floor seat, and I live 5 minutes away from the arena. Let me know if you don't mind sharing with us how much
That's in
those
Canada,
floor
right?
seats were.
That's Toronto, right? Toronto, right? Correct. All
All
out
Out?
is in Toronto.
I believe so. Yeah, because it's gonna be Christian and this guy.
Hey, be careful, Judge. They changed the time. They're going to start off at 3:00. I heard now.
Yeah,
So
because
they're
they don't
not
want
going to battle WWE. Yeah.
Why? Why?
Smart.
AEW, just
Smart.
battle them, bro. Screw that crap.
Pony.
Especially if you're gonna get like
Oh,
fights
man.
like
Oh,
Becky
dude.
Lynch
No.
versus Nikki
But
Bella
see,
and fuck ups
But
like they
here's the
did.
problem, man. Here's the problem. You're a casual wrestling fan. And this is where, look, man, AEW always delivers on pay-per-views. I don't care if you like AEW,
Not
you
always.
don't like
Not
AEW.
always.
No, I'm not saying every match, but if you order and you pay your $49, you usually get your money's worth. Now, every match may not hit, and some of the stuff you may not agree with, but wrestling-wise, you're going to be entertained for the 50. The problem is this. I can pay nothing and get the ESPN pay-per-view. Then if I'm upset or whatever, I don't care because guess what? I didn't pay anything.
Well,
And
that's
my expectations are not that high.
well. They're running a promo code where you could actually watch the All Out for $39.99 this week. When they're gonna have this pay per view. So since
I got a code where I can watch it for FRWE. Yeah. It's back, baby. It's back.
But I will
It had
say,
disappeared, but now I have the code again.
But
It's
I-
all well and good.
but I will say this. Going back to the whole fan situation, I didn't like the fact that they did attack and hound Rhea Ripley. I thought that was messed up.
You're not entitled to anything. I don't care how much money you spend, bro.
Sean,
I don't care how much money you spend. You're not
Why you
entitled to anything.
I get it. And I saw that they
And
eventually.
it wasn't
put more
everybody. It
security.
was some that were there that was doing the pictures, and that was cool. She was there doing the pictures. The problem was then you get some just bum rushing, and I think the one that made her the most mad wasn't the guy's fault. He was trying to stay away, and he got bumped, and then it got pushed into her where she couldn't open the door. And again, this is where WWE messes up to this extent. Is like, why are you even letting them? And they did this the whole tour until the very end. They had them out all alone. They were touring Paris and everything else alone until that incident happened with Rhea. Then everybody started getting walked out by the security.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, you know, they are, look, man, yes, they entertain you on Mondays and Fridays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and everything else, but they're still freaking human beings, man.
Oh, of course.
I get it. Our jobs are not, you know, like nobody's going to be like, hey, Sean, I need to sit down and get an autograph and things like that. But at the same time, you're not entitled just because you get to see them on TV to think that you can just bum rush them and be like, oh no, you have to give me a picture. Why do I have to give you anything?
Yeah, when it comes to that, I think WWE needs to learn their lesson, especially when they're in a country that usually they're usually not in for like premium live events and stuff like that. So like now they're going to that Germany tour. So hopefully they learn their lesson because fans do get excessive and they do go overboard a couple of times. So when it comes to that, I do hope that they correct it and that they do have security moving forward. I still am pissed off at the packages, and I understand that guy's frustration, and hopefully
I can understand the frustration, but the fact that you say you think you're entitled to this, like, bro, like
you are entitled.
You are not entitled to nothing.
You're entitled to
WWE
get quality
did not
stuff.
No, WWE did not say you're getting the top line. They said a meet and greet.
Yeah,
Bro,
you're paying over $4 or $5 grand.
Yes, then you wait to see what the meet and greet is. If not, then don't spend the $4 or $5 grand. Obviously, they got the $4 or $5 grand. They paid for it without knowing. That's like putting $4 or $5 grand down on the Florida Gators and hoping they win. If they don't win, are you gonna go and like be mad that you put the money down because you expected them to win?
That's not the same, Sean. That's not the same because the Gators always win. Now what will happen here? What will happen here?
How you doing, sir?
What happens here is you gotta understand that if you're paying that much money, and guys on the chat board, just what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me or do you agree with Sean? If you're paying $4 or $5 grand, I would expect WWE to give me better quality. Now we know that they're not going to give it to you, so you're right. We already know.
Serious?
We already know that they're not going to give it to us. But I'm just saying they should put more of an effort to give those guys and gals the opportunity.
But if you go back and you look at even, let's go to yours, and again, I'm not going to sit here and argue, apples oranges. But even AEW doesn't. You don't get Hangman Page, you don't get John Moxley. You don't get, even when you pay for those meet and greets.
I've never paid
for
those.
It was Willow Nightingale.
I don't remember.
It was Willow Nightingale.
I thought Orange Cassidy was one of them too.
Oh, Orange Cassidy is considered a superstar.
Orange Cassidy is way better than
goodness
than some of those other guys.
Rusev was at AEW.
Than BFAB.
Hey.
I'd rather take Orange Cassidy all day over BFAB. I mean, there was who was it on the chat board? Somebody on the chat board was saying that the Street Profits need to get rid of BFAB. Yeah, Jordan Kirby, exactly.
My whole thing is this, Frankie. Like, if you get upset about what you pay for, then figure out what you're paying for. Ask. If they don't give you, then you decide whether you're not going to pay the $4,000.
Who the hell are you going to ask, bro? They're not going to give you a response. They're going to give you a fluff. They're going to say, yeah, we can't guarantee who we got, but it could be this person, it could be that person.
No, but again, they didn't tell you who it was going to be. They didn't tell you anything, and you just sat there and like, oh, I'm going to get Roman because he's on the card, or I'm going to get this guy because they're on the card.
No, but you don't need to get like the main guys, but at least one of the main guys. Like, why can't you have a CM Punk there? Why can't you have a Cody Rhodes? Why can't you have one of these guys?
They did other stuff through the week.
But WWE being such the big, big bad wolf, they're the biggest one, the biggest company out there. You're making a buku full of money. And the best you could do is give me Rusev, BFAB, and the Y6. I mean, I do like the Y6, but those are the only things you're giving me. And you're giving me like 5 seconds. You're not. We don't even know this because you and me are smart. We're not gonna pay for that crap. But
let me ask you this, Frankie Fresco. When you purchase season tickets, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, yeah. When you go and they have those great meet and greets.
We don't have those privileges.
Okay, but you still pay the money, right?
That's different, Sean.
But you get the legends, right? You usually get the legends every once in a while, right?
Here's the thing. It's different.
How many times have you gotten Richmond Webb?
Hold on. How
many times have you gotten Zach Thomas?
It's different because
how many times have you gotten Jason Taylor?
But you're not comparing. You're comparing oranges to apples. It's not the same thing because I will tell
I'm
you this.
telling you.
I will tell you this. My season tickets cost are nowhere near what they are right now for the price that they're going for. I've been a season ticket holder for over 10 years. So my price for where I sit and all that stuff is way less than what people are paying right now. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. If WWE, the prices have elevated a lot more. So
Yes, because value is what somebody will pay for something. If somebody's going to pay for that and not know what they're going to get, then hey, there were other opportunities to go meet CM Punk places. There were opportunities to meet other superstars places. You didn't take that. You wanted to spend $4,000 so you can get a little badge and a pin and a chair and a meet and greet.
you're getting
Then
crap,
you can't
bro.
sit there
$4,000.
and complain about what you're getting.
I mean, look, man, it's just when you pay for something like I'll tell you this: when with the Dolphins season ticket holders, I mean, we complained. We told them, hey, man, like, what the hell? What is our perks? Like, what do we get besides just being able to go to the games at our price? What perks do we get? At least they listen to us. Like, the Dolphins have actually reached out to us. We've been at the Dolphin Stadium and sat down with staff members and given us season ticket holders our opinion of things that they could do to help us because we've told them, hey, man, we are paying a certain amount of money, so we should feel like we are privileged because we are loyal to you guys. Same thing I feel for somebody who pays $4,000 for the WWE. And yes, you're right. You could have seen CM Punk at a store or at a meet and greet, but that's the reason why you pay $4,000 because you don't want to run into like 20,000 people to go see CM Punk. You want to have that, be able to do it with the comfort from like, hey, I don't have to bum rush into people and all that stuff, and it's easier for me because yes, there is an advantage of paying for it. I'm just saying if WWE is going to do this crap, they should put a little bit more effort in trying to make it more of an experience for the fan who
Yeah,
pays that much money because at the end of the day, you're gonna not it's a bargain for them as well. You're gonna be able to sell it even more. And then now you and me are gonna be able to say, you know what, Sean, bro, shit, maybe we should buy it because we'll get to see like this guy or that guy or something. So if they make it look good, it will be worth better, and they could even raise the price even more and make even more money. So that's the reason why I feel like they should invest more time into it than just give us and
but,
brush it off and
but
give us
people did
BFAB.
pay to go see that CM Punk, by the way, too. It
Yeah,
wasn't
but
just
not, but not,
20,000
but not
bum
for,
rush. It
but not
wasn't
for,
just
but not $4,000.
yeah, but again, so then why not take advantage of that instead of if you had $4,000, Frankie? If a man can spend $4,000 on some tickets, and I'm sure he didn't buy just one package, I'm sure he had a family and whatever there, so probably more than that went into it. Like then he's not hurting, bro. And again, I'm
No,
not saying that the prices are right, but at the same time, man, like you pay what you pay for is what you value. I'm not paying $4,000. I looked at the Hard Rock Live for AEW tickets. I went to the nosebleeds, the last section they have available. I hit the button, saw $300 a seat, and I said, "Oh, I guess I'm not going to that event."
damn, they're going for 300. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes,
That's insane. Tony Khan stealing like from like now acting like WWE, bro. I mean,
but price is what you're going to pay for because they're just going on sale now. As it gets closer to the event, I guarantee you they'll drop the price down. That's what that is the old UFC TKO methodology. It's
well,
you bombard the market, and then if somebody pays the $20,000 for the front row seats, then we got 20,000 for them. If not, then we lower it down as it gets closer and we make that money there. Because again, it's just like everything else. They make their money off the revenue. The TV deals and all this stuff. This is all just extra stuff. Thank you guys. We appreciate you paying $4,000 for a meet and greet. Here's BFAB.
I don't know, BFAB. EA Minutes has a good point. If Liv Morgan can hit me with a steel chair, I will pay $1,000. There you go. I would you pay $1,000 to get hit with a steel?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. I would definitely pay $1,000 to live.
And again,
Liv Morgan.
And that's why people are paying $4,500 for a PLE ticket.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about the respect that Dolph fans don't get from the team. Let's go on to our next subject. Respect for TK.
Mm.
There's been a lot going on. And again, I will say this. It is by people that are no longer with the company. So take it how you want to, however you want to have it. But we talked a little bit about Hager last week, and he was talking about the timeline of when Cody left AEW and kind of how things went. And now, this week, there's been a lot of things said about, the respect. Conan came out talking about how that, Tony Khan is just a money mark and everybody's just there because they're going to get paid and they'll do whatever. And Conan said he talked with somebody and they basically told him, I'll do whatever Tony asked me to do because he pays me so much money. So my question for you is, and again, it's probably not as extreme as some say, and it's probably, not as high, where do you think Tony Khan is with the respect factor? And I only ask this for this reason. Now there's talk that Chris Jericho might be going back to WWE. All right. And you looked at the fallout with the Arn Anderson, the Cody Rhodes, and in a way, let me hear from you, Frankie, and then I'll give you mine because I don't want to lean you one way or the other. But go ahead with what your thoughts are on all of this as far as Tony Khan running AEW. Not necessarily, what we've always talked about, creative and everything else, but do you think there's the respect there from the talent?
I think the talent does not respect Tony Khan. And I think the talent has come to what Conan kind of said, which is, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and get a paycheck. I think that's what happens a lot. I'm shocked because the more and more I hear about this, the more and more I thought Tony Khan was a pushover. I thought Tony Khan was somebody that you could go ahead and, tell him, because that's kind of what he portrayed as well. In some of those little those shows behind the scenes stuff, you would see these guys approach him and tell him, hey, there's like Sammy Guevara and stuff like that. And Tony Khan was, so he seemed approachable. I don't think that's the case now. I mean, now that you put everything in perspective, you got Chris Jericho wanting to leave. You had Cody Rhodes who left. You had Jake Hager talking crap about him. You had Conan, but Conan is not the best because Conan is not a big fan of Tony Khan in the first place. But you have a lot of these people who are saying all these things. I'm starting to realize that Tony Khan is just an asshole. And I feel like, yes, people just go to AEW to collect the paycheck. And if you're paying me good money, that's it. I'm going to do it. I think that's why you got Will Ospreay. I think that's the reason why you got... I mean, granted, I will say that Swerve Strickland does talk very highly of AEW. But when you look at probably like
But it's also
everybody...
made him a multi-millionaire. Tony
It
Khan
has.
has made
It
him
has.
a
Yes.
multi-millionaire.
And he... Look, man, there's a difference between being respected and being an asshole. And I think right now he's come to the point where maybe he just doesn't give a damn about what the other people think. And he's like, yo, I've been running this show for how long? AEW's been on TV for quite some time now. So he's like, yo, I don't need anybody's respect. I know how to run this, and this is what I'm gonna do. And I think that's why you're getting so many fans, so many wrestlers saying, you know what, this guy is not, he's a douchebag. And Vince McMahon ran it like that too. But eventually it burned him. So we'll see what happens. But that's how I feel. I feel like he just doesn't give a damn. People don't respect him, and I think Tony Khan doesn't care about it.
See, that's interesting. That's interesting coming from you because you're Mr. AEW more than me. I think the whole thing is old school versus new school. The old school thinking against, if you want to call new school thinking or whatever, however you want to look at it. Because as I look at it, right, Arn Anderson went there and then it wasn't really being done how he thought it left. Cody Rhodes had an idea that he wanted to do it. And Cody Rhodes is more of the old school mixed with some new school. And by new school, I don't mean flipping and flopping and everything. I mean, mentality wise of what wrestling is. Deep storylines, deep investment in characters, more than just wrestling in the ring. I believe Tony Khan believes that he can make it work with just having great matches. I don't know if it's going to be able to, it'll work as long as he can keep getting TV deals. If he gets TV deals, then you know what, it is what it is. But you can only have so many first evers, because once they do fight, then that's gone. That novelty is gone. And again, it was cool, and it allows a lot of fans to see matches they would never be able to see. That is a awesome thing. But I feel like a lot of wrestlers fall out of it by going, that only works for so long. And again, it's more of an old school mentality than the new school mentality. And to be honest with you, the more I think about it, I watch the stories in WWE and I can get invested in their characters. But I also find myself on the other side going, the stories aren't keeping me. Whereas lately, AEW, they've got one story that I honestly wish would end forever, but it keeps flipping over, and that's the Jon Moxley Death Riders one, to where now they've gone back, a callback with Daniel Garcia, and you keep seeing him coming in with Daniel Garcia. And again, it's just little things that they don't tell the story deep, but they do storytelling. It's very different than, and I feel like that's where the respect, however you want to say it, is. And again, Tony Khan, think about what he does, man. And it's cool as hell, don't get me wrong, but it's also corny as hell when you're the owner. All right, they did a cool ass thing for Taz at the 2300 Arena after the last Dynamite. They all come out, they and he's wearing his Taz shirt, but this is where, like, to me, Tony Khan, he's like a hugger, man, and it's like, bro, just shake the man's hand, be like, thank you for everything you've done, but he hugs people all the time, and it's like, oh, I love you, and it comes off to me as corny, because I think he's done good things. Do I agree with everything? No, nobody will.
Sean is not a hugger.
Huh?
You're not a hugger.
Not that, but I just mean, it just comes off like you're the owner of the company. Think about when Claudio debuted at the post wrestling thing. He's hugging him, and Claudio's like, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm glad to be here. This guy just won't get off me. Like, yeah, I think he's humping my leg right now." And I feel like that is where some of the guys are like, "Oh, we can do whatever we want because he's going to pay us."
Yeah, because
he is that mark in that way, to where it's like, think about it. Will Ospreay. Tony Khan was that he just made him one of the highest paid wrestlers, and rightfully so. We know what Will Ospreay can do.
Yeah.
But it's because of Tony Khan's thing. Again, Tony Khan didn't like Jake Hager. You could tell that wasn't, he was doing that a favor for Jericho. Jericho got Jake Hager there. When Tony Khan won't care about you, you can tell. And it shows.
But let me ask you.
Think about how many people have been like, I didn't even know I was released. I just got let go.
Yeah.
They just never called me again. That's because Tony Khan doesn't care about you, buddy. He's not going to give you a hug.
But what is your reason behind this whole Chris Jericho drama now, that he's kind of brushed Jericho off, and Jericho was a pioneer to AEW?
Because the hugging gets stale.
Yeah.
When there's no substance.
Now, what do you mean? What there's no substance? Are you saying because people are tired of Jericho? So he's
Jericho goes back to WWE, right? There's more credibility there. Think about Jade Cargill. She left AEW to go to WWE because she felt that's where her brand would flourish the most.
mm-hmm.
And that's where I think AEW comes up short still.
Yeah, but Chris Jericho doesn't need that credibility. Chris Jericho already has that credibility. I don't think that's the case.
But if he wants to go out on a high note, he goes back to WWE, gets that one little bit more of whatever they're going to do with him, and then he goes out on the high note, not out as AEW Inner Circle or the Learning Tree or, I mean, come on, bro, really?
But the Learning Tree was really good, actually, and the Inner Circle was really good too.
Yeah, but I think by that time Jericho had had enough.
Yeah, but you also got to understand that
Jericho. And I get about the reinventing yourself, but every 3-4 months you're reinvent. Like at some point, it's like, hey, you know what?
But let me ask you this: what do you think? What do you think he brings to the table if he goes to WWE? He'll probably get a pop at the beginning, but then after that, it's done.
That's all it'll be. It'll be that little run, and then he's done. He'll tie it up, but then he'll get a Legends deal.
That's what he probably wants.
And things like that. That's what of course, that's what he's going for.
That's what he
wants. He'll get his little run. He'll get into the Hall of Fame, and then he'll get a Legends deal. And he goes on tour with Fozzy, does his stuff, and every once in a while shows up at a Raw. You'll get the countdown and Y2J or whatever the hell he's going to come out as, and there you go.
Yeah, because it'll be similar to what happened with this guy Goldberg, that they kind of gave him a going away.
No. He'll get better than Goldberg.
Damn. Okay.
Well, because again, Jericho made his name in WWE.
He did.
Jericho was known in WCW, but he didn't become Y2J and all this stuff until he went to WWE. That is true. Goldberg was WCW. If you're not made by WWE, I don't care if it was VKM running it. I don't care if it's Triple H running it. You're not going to get what you think you deserve. Sorry.
I don't know about that because it's not Vince running the show, man. Goldberg's situation was, I think they just mistimed it. I think that they
mistimed it. I think they knew exactly what they were going to do.
Oh, man. I mean,
they gave him a Saturday night main event. He didn't like it, and then this is where we're at.
But Goldberg can't hang either. Chris Jericho could still hang.
Well, again, you're the Goldberg guy. I didn't want Goldberg back.
I wanted Goldberg because I wanted him to, I wanted to see if he could still hang.
I wanted to see the smoke come out of his nostrils again.
I wanted to see, the spear. I wanted to see all that. And then once I saw him coming out from the locker room, and I see him fucking half-ass walking because his knee are pretty much gone. I'm like, yeah, this is not a good idea. He needs to retire because it's over. And then once you see that match, and you're like, damn, this is really bad. Like, yeah, Goldberg, you need to go. Like, it's done. Like, so did I want to see him? Yes. Once I saw him, that's when I said, okay, you know what? They should have not gone ahead and done that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah,
Be careful what you wish for. I remember those days when I was like, oh man, I used to love those Legend Fests because then you could go and you get to see, and some of them could still go, and you get to see it, and then you watch them, and it's like,
well, not only that too, Sean, is that for a wrestler, an athlete, it's always hard to let go of what you've done for so many years. You love it. You look at these things and you look at a match and you're like, damn, I could still hang. Like, I feel like if I work my ass off, I could still give it a go. But your body is not at the same, level as it was when you were a lot younger, So it's like, I play soccer, but dude, like, my body's not at 100%. My body, I know my body. So when my friends tell me, hey, Frankie, like, they scored on your ass. Yeah, because that's a 50-50 ball. And I'm not going to fucking go and kill myself for a 50-50 ball because I've done that before. And that's how I freaking tore my ankles. So you got to know your body. And at the end of the day, they hopefully, they
Yeah,
hopefully.
but you can't. The problem with wrestling and is that you know it is the adrenaline rush. It is going out in front of the crowd, and it's not as physic. It's not a fit. It is physically demanding. It is, but it's not like basketball or soccer or football where you have to go out there and physically do the action. Because if you get in a match and Gunther Goldberg was 100%, that's what you can do. Goldberg wouldn't have lasted that long if it was anybody but Gunther. Gunther was able to tear him down and then get back up to that moment to where, and again, he almost got dropped on his head. But those are things that you can do in wrestling, whereas in football, you can't put, Troy Aikman or Steve Young, and I only say them because I just saw him, or even Dan Marino out there as a joyous bring them back for the 50th year celebration under quarterback, under center, and let them throw a pass. Like, you can't do that stuff. Whereas in wrestling, you can, and you can get away with it a little bit, depending, as long as you do it right.
Well, yeah, I mean, but just like in everything, there comes father time, and
There is, but the problem with the wrestling is that also then you get other promoters that will pay somebody that they think they can still make money off their name, so let's bring them.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, unfortunately, Steven Gonzalez says, I'll pay 10 grand for Stephanie V to Devil's Kiss Me. I'll pay anything, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'm glad she finally is getting that title shot, and I hope she wins. I hope they don't.
It's so funny.
Triple H is gonna give it to Io. I know he is, but damn it,
I would have
give it to
loved it if it would have not been Io. I would have been like, "Oh, Stephanie's winning this," but Io throws that monkey wrench in there, which is why I think they did that, because now you're going, "Oh, damn! Now, okay, this might work."
Yep.
To me, I would have done the WrestleMania. Was it 3 or 4? When they held the little tournament, I would have done like four people bracket, and I would have had them do it. They start the show, those two matches, then they come back in and do it later on. I would have loved that, because then you give more people the opportunity, and I think you could ultimately do the Asuka Io, which I feel like that's coming up, and
I think
have a feeling that's going to be the factor in this match somehow.
I think that's the reason why Io's gonna eventually win that, because there's so much more stories available for Io right now. The whole Rhea Ripley, who still wants to get a shot at the title, and she's never beaten Io. And then you got Asuka involved in this situation. Stephanie Vaquero, who does she have? There's nobody. So
you had to start building up the stories. I mean, there's stories there from people that she's wrestled in the past, but you'd have to do a lot more work to build up title matches there. But again, it's different because of who she is. Like, I feel like she's got the rocket strapped to her, and I think this injury might have like kind of sidelined that. But again, maybe they're going to cost her the title, and then that will turn into her rival for a little bit.
It could be,
because I would love to see like Liv Morgan return and Stephanie Vaquero against Liv. I wouldn't mind that. There's some matches there that'd be pretty good. Roxanne against her, but again, I don't want to have the Roxanne and Judgment Day being the reason Stephanie Vaquero doesn't win.
Well, now that you're talking about return, how about we talk about our girl AJ Lee coming back?
That's why I was trying to get to, if you would have let me get to it, because Shackle over here, Shackle Man, said 2 more sleeps till we get AJ Lee, because supposedly, if you listen to the dirt sheets, it has been said that AJ Lee looks like she will be making a return as early as
Friday.
This Friday SmackDown.
It's Chicago.
Yep. Frankie Fresco. How high on the Fresco meter is the AJ Lee return?
Well, AJ Lee, I love it, man. And it's about damn time that you bring, especially after Becky was slapping the crap out of CM Punk. The disrespect by Becky Lynch, God damn it, that was terrible. It only makes sense to bring her, man. And now Obviously, the match they're gonna make is probably CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at that WrestlePalooza thing. That's what I'm assuming. That's gonna be the match that they gotta make. So I think she shows up on Friday. It makes sense to show her up on Friday, but if they're gonna show her up on Friday, I hope Becky Lynch or Seth Rollins is at SmackDown as well. I don't think that's gonna happen though. So that's why I'm a little bit 50-50 if she's gonna show up on Friday, because it is Chicago. CM Punk is gonna be there. He obviously he said something, he referenced it. But if you're gonna bring AJ Lee, you gotta have Becky out there. You gotta have Seth Rollins. So I'm assuming, this is what I'm hoping, is that Seth Rollins comes out after CM Punk is out there, or Becky Lynch comes out like what she did on Monday, and then as Becky Lynch is gonna go ahead and lay a hand on CM Punk, that's when you hit AJ Lee's music, and then AJ Lee comes out. That's what I'm hoping.
I think you get the same thing you got this Monday, how the segment ended. Because I believe, what did CM Punk say at the end exactly? Do you remember? I don't know if you can remember exactly.
I mean, I know he said something about,
he said something like, you're going to pay for that or something.
yeah, like you're
that,
gonna pay for putting your hands on me or something like that.
Yeah. So I think they do the same thing, and she smacks and like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. And then what I hope they do is they don't play her music. I hope she just kind of slides in behind the ring and is sitting there waiting and just kind of like biding time. And you see CM Punk getting smacked and start smiling like okay, keep going. Do all you want to do here.
I gotta hear the music.
And then she turns around and then bam, and then you play the music at the end. You play the music at the end and have her do her. She lays out Becky and have her skip around the ring with Becky laid out.
Now, question, is Becky going to be there?
I think you don't bring Seth. I think Becky shows up representing the Vision, and you don't have Seth.
Well, they had Seth. He came out for like a split second.
No, that's what I'm saying. Or maybe they do the same thing. Seth comes out, but then leaves again like that, and then you do that. But then I don't know why he wouldn't come out to save Becky is what I'm saying, because then you end up you have too much going on. Like, this should just be Becky getting laid out to me of AJ Lee returning, and then go to Monday Night Raw if you want, and then Becky and Seth maybe get the best of AJ. But with AJ returning, AJ needs to end this on a high note.
Do you like AJ Lee coming back?
I don't hate it. Again, AJ's not, a Goldberg, a Lesnar. She hasn't been around forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not that in case of emergency break, Darby or Orange, like those guys that everybody always uses. Like, it's just something that is worthy, I mean, she hasn't been in a WWE ring forever. There was talk, I guess, when she did the heels thing, where she was very nervous about getting back in the ring because she hadn't been in the ring for so long. Yeah. And then they said she took to it, again, she was very good at what she did. I think she kind of, her and CM Punk both got burned out on wrestling. And now she's probably seeing Punk kind of get, revigorated here. Yeah. And now she's thinking maybe the same thing can happen. She sees Bella come back. She's, you start seeing some of the faces return, and now it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Well, I think at least two, also a good storyline for her to return. And then if she says, you know what, I'm good, and you advance it. If not, then it's cool for her and Punk to kind of, get a match together finally after all these years.
Now, for the miscellaneous, I have a question for you. But let me ask you this. If you eventually do have that matchup between CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth and Becky, who do you feel takes that win?
What's funny is you would have asked me this. I think I would have played it out this way. But after watching the match that they had at Clash of the Castle, I don't know that I want to see Nikki Bella against Becky Lynch again. Because ultimately, I think Nikki Bella was going to get the title off of Becky Lynch. That would have been who I would have had cost Becky and AJ get the win. That way, Punk doesn't have to pin Seth. AJ could pin Becky. Doesn't cost her anything because it's a tag team match. And you could have had Nikki Bella be the reason, per se. After a good match, Nikki comes out, whatever, and Nikki is linked to AJ because of all the stuff that happened in the past. I think you could have worked that out. Now, after that match they had at Clash of Paris, I don't know that I want to see that. Yeah. So ultimately, I think you've got to give it to a returning AJ Lee, unless she says, I'm back, and then they continue AJ Lee and Becky, and then AJ Lee takes the title off of Becky.
Do you feel this is a one-time thing, or do you feel that she's going to eventually stick around?
I don't know, man. She was so smooth. And she's been doing like the Women of Wrestling stuff. So she has, been in and out of the ring per se. And the other thing with AJ Lee, for as small of a build she wasn't necessarily a high flyer.
No.
She was pretty grounded with her moves. So those usually are easier to pick back up because you don't have to worry about all timing and a lot of things there. So, man, I could see her coming back full time for a little bit. I'm not saying, for 5, 6, 7 years, but you might get a 2-year run out of her maybe and end with Punk, or something like that. I could see that.
Yeah, I agree. And again, after seeing that Becky Nikki Bella match, I don't think AJ Lee could do worse. To be honest with you.
No, I mean, I don't know where the confusion was on that one spot, but Mike, I don't know what the hell that was.
It wasn't only in that one spot, Sean. It was pretty
there was
bad
a lot
everywhere.
But bro, like you go up to the rope to do a move, and Becky's on the other side of the ring. Like it's not even like I don't know what the hell the call was. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Go up to the rope and throw a kick to the air. And even Becky was kind of like, looked like she was going to try to sell something. And was like, well, what the hell am I doing? I can't even do anything with this. So I don't know where the miscommunication was or what that was supposed to be, but like that was some of the worst stuff I've ever seen, man.
And not only that, but she kind of lost the fans because every time she was trying to get momentum in that match, the fans were booing her. Like,
but to me, man, there's two people I've always looked at and said, I don't know if they can be babies. It's Nikki Bella and it's Mercedes Moné. When she was Sasha Banks, like she just does not translate to me as a babyface. When they talk, they just sound like so like arrogant and shit. It's like, bro, I can't buy you as a baby. I can't feel bad for you is more like it. Like, I can't feel bad that you could. Bailey, the way I can feel bad for her taking an ass whooping if they bring her back as the hugger Bailey or whatever they're going to do with her, but I can see that. Naomi has that soft side, but I like the dark side better for Naomi. But she does have that soft side. To me, and even Charlotte, like Charlotte's another one where it feels forced when she's a face, because she has that mightier than thou thought process to me, to where like I don't feel bad when you're getting your ass kicked.
Nikki Bella, I like her as a baby as well. I'm not gonna lie, I like her as a baby.
Brie, if you bring back the Bellas, that's more babyface because then you feel bad for Brie getting her ass whooped, and then Nikki comes in and saves her.
Well,
that's
Brie
has that tag team there.
Brie has said that she's interested in coming back too.
She's in it. There's talks going on. It's just a matter of what position that puts Bryan Danielson in.
Yeah.
Is the situation, I think. Because now it's, I mean, again, Bryan Danielson's happy where he is and kudos there. But
rough.
It's a rough situation. And then you put, I don't think Charlotte's gotten better at the face. I think them pairing her up with Alexis has allowed her to show a little bit of a different side because she's playing off of Alexa. If she's by herself, it's totally different. Now that she's able to play off somebody, it allows her to, again, it's not her becoming better at a face. They put a smoking mirror in front, so it's like, oh, you're not paying attention to Charlotte. Charlotte's still being Charlotte. It's just Alexa allows it to play off of with what they're doing. To me, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I think Alexa has gotten the fans to start liking Charlotte Flair again because they were having a hard time, a very hard
Yes.
time. But then I
It's
like
tough
I like
to
the
like her
thought.
because she has the John Cena segment, but she's also a heel. She's not a baby like Cena was. Cena got forced down your throat. Roman got forced down your throat. Roman decided, hey, I'm going to go heel, whereas Cena always stayed baby.
Yeah, and it sucks
So,
that
and to me, I
Roman
think Roman
baby.
was a better heel than a baby when you look back at it.
I agree.
Even when he's with the Shield, I think he's more of a heel than a baby.
Yeah.
And again, now that he did that heel run, it's almost like with the Stone Cold thing. It's like he's so good as a heel that when he turned baby, you cheered for him because he kicked ass, but not necessarily him getting his ass kicked. You weren't giving the sympathy that most babies got. You were just cheering for him when he was kicking ass in a way. It's odd, the way fans are, and again, that's what makes wrestling so good. All right, let's flip over to the last subject of the day for right now. AEW, WWE Miscellaneous Chat. Jump in. No Doubt has joined us in now. Shackleman, Steven Gonzalez, EA Minutes. Adrian was in earlier, and my dad was in as well. So appreciate everybody that is watching us on the YouTube channel, Stanley Meathouse Network, and hit that subscribe button. Frankie Fresco, hit the subscribe button. A lot more stuff going on both channels. And of course, if you're watching on Twitch, appreciate you. Please jump over to the YouTube channels. Hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000. Right now, I'm 160 away.
Well, also
I'm at 840.
shout out to Jordan Kirby, who was a new viewer, and Judge.
Oh,
Was
yes.
also
I
a
think I
viewer.
went right over Jordan. I apologize for that.
So both of them
He
I
was
saw.
there. Where would he go? I missed him.
I want to say this too. So I wanted to ask you this because there has
And Judge. You said Judge too, right?
yeah, Judge was there. So guys, on the chat board, you guys are more than welcome to ask us as many questions as you like. But I do have a question for
Yeah,
Sean because I
we're
saw
on a
this happen.
topic, whatever.
I did see this. So I noticed that they were talking about this, and this was a concern. And now it kind of relates with AJ Lee as well. WWE has, and we spoke about this, I think, a little bit last week, where a lot of their wrestlers, a lot of their storylines, a lot of their, fan base relies very heavily on your older wrestlers, 40-year-olds and above. You got CM Punk in there. You got Seth Rollins in there. You got Roman in there. You got Becky Lynch. She's been around the corner for quite some time. You have Brock Lesnar coming back. You have a lot of these people, and you're not seeing a lot of the youth make a jump. AJ Lee now is coming as well. So it's happening both in the guys and women. Obviously, it's a little bit less in the women because you still got Tiffany Stratton, Jay Cargo. You still got some of the young girls over there. But my question to you is this a concern? Because these guys have a couple more years in them. When is WWE going to go ahead and make a run where you see that fresh new blood take over and these old geezers, with all respect, because we're old geezers too, are able to pass the torch to these guys and they could still carry the show without us having to watch the old guys and the old gals too.
Yeah. I think when you get a downtick in business, you'll start seeing that. But as long as business stays the way it's going, I don't think they're going to touch anything. And you might get a sprinkle of here and there, of somebody getting put in just because, you can't keep a guy like Obafemi at, in NXT forever. But at the same time, you bring him to the main roster. Where does he fit in right now?
Well,
not saying that you can't make him fit.
Yeah, you can make
Of
it
course
fit.
you can. But now you got another monster. You're trying to make Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker your monsters. Now you bring in Obafemi. And again, the youth does need to be put up. But if you're making all this money with what you have right now, why put, what is it? What's the thing? A circle, a square peg in a round hole. It's working now. People are paying for it. You're getting the most and everything else. And you're sprinkling in guys, you're dropping little guys in there. I mean, you got your Jacob Fatu. You've got guys that are there to be, and then again, when some of those guys leave, do they step in? Nobody thought Stone Cold was going to turn into Stone Cold. You know what I'm saying? That's stuff that happens organically. And that's where, again, when you're, to me, like with what we were talking about earlier with the respect thing, that is where when you get them to invest in your characters, you can, make it work. For instance, last night, I'm watching NXT, and they throw Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa out there with Trick. And they got a great little hero's welcome because they're talking about the NXT homecoming and all this stuff. That's not the reaction they get necessarily on Mondays when they come out, or Fridays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the different audiences pick up on different things. When you look at the international audience, I mean, dude, they love their AJ Styles. They love those older guys, but they were also giving a lot of the younger talent, we're getting a little chance here and there as well. I think you're going to get you're getting your influx right now of the AAA talent. Ray Phoenix. Andrade's getting a serious little push now. Penta. You're getting those guys. Dom. Nobody expected Dom to become what he has become. You still got Finn there. Finn's an older guy, but he's still young.
Except Frankie Fresco. Frankie Fresco predicted this for Dom.
Yeah, no, you are right. You are right. And again, I said over time he could get there. I didn't know he was going to be this quick. I thought it would take a little bit longer. But again, it is a delicate balance.
But here comes the other issue, because you say this, but then now we talked a couple minutes ago saying that there's a possibility Chris Jericho comes back as well. Yeah. So why keep bringing these old geezers over to the WWE? And I know it's just maybe like a legendary contract, the Legends contract that he wants and all that stuff. But again, they're incorporating a Chris Jericho who, do you really need to incorporate a Chris Jericho while you could actually, which No Doubt pointed out, you could elevate a Carmelo Hayes. You could elevate a Trick Williams. You could elevate an Obafemi.
Yeah, but what says they don't use him to elevate those guys? Just like we they did in AEW when they were trying with the Big Bill and Brian Keith there with the Learning Tree. You could bring him back for an on-air managerial role and whatever you want to do. You can do that with Chris Jericho. I'm talking about now. When you throw out there, look. The one thing I think you'll see is if Jericho wrestles, it's going to be like an Austin Theory type pushing the buttons to bring back the Jericho or something like, what I'm saying? Like that. I don't think he's going to be like elevated to title runs, but I go back to this. This is where Vince McMahon messed up.
Well, Goldberg got a title shot.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right. So
Goldberg got a title.
I go back to a Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon got a wild hair up his ass and said, "You know what? It's time to start pushing the new guys, and we're gonna get the new guys pushed." And he said, "You know what? King of the Ring's coming up. I've got it. I know what we're gonna do on Raw. We're gonna put the next big thing. We're going to put Brock Lesnar. And we're going to make him take on Stone Cold Steve Austin on a Raw. And he's going to beat him to qualify for King of the Ring." And they called up Stone Cold. Stone Cold said, "No, I don't think so. I'm not showing up." And it fractured a lot of things. So it's a delicate balance. You need, and again, I'm not saying that any of these guys are Stone Colds or Brock Lesnar's either. What I'm saying is the situation, it's a delicate balance because when you do make that switch, you got to make sure the fans are making the switch with you.
That's true. Definitely true.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be like, because now all of a sudden you make that switch and you start putting Carmelo to the moon, and the fans don't go with it. What do you do then?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, and it's difficult to say because I look at AEW and Daniel Garcia. I feel like they've done this like 4 times with Daniel Garcia, trying to get him to that spot. And now they're putting him in with the Death Riders a little bit here. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know one time it was an injury and things like that. But sometimes, look, Daniel Garcia gets a crowd reaction. But do they believe in him enough to make him a star? That's the balance that you have to figure out. Carmelo gets a great reaction, but does he get the Roman reaction? Does he get the Finn Balor reaction? Does he get the Braun Breaker reaction? Like that's that balance to where if you don't do it right, you end up out.
Well, look at Dom. I think they've done a good job because even though AJ got that big pop and people were singing and cheering him, there was a point in time in that match when people were actually cheering for Dom too.
Yes.
So that goes to show you that they've been able to elevate him correctly. And you're right.
Well, because people have invested in him in both ways now too.
And we can't wait.
Slimy little weasel guy that I thought would make it work for him the most, but then also being that Eddie Guerrero type to where they expect him to do something, you know, Eddie-wise, and that's helped them too.
A couple questions on the chat board. No Doubt says, "Will Daniel Garcia needs a new gimmick? Do you agree? Does he need a new gimmick?"
I mean, it just depends on what they're going to do with him. I mean, that's the problem. Like, they're now doing a callback to an event that happened in December when Bryan Danielson got choked out with the garbage bag. It was Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy on the floor. Daniel Garcia just glaring down at him. Now they're running it back now with the thing. And when he was doing the dance, everybody loved it. He was over.
Yeah.
Then they took it away from him. And then everybody's like, well, now what is he? Again, it's about investment. And that's the problem where, you know, like I invest in Swerve. I get invested in Will. I get invested in Moxley. I get invested in those guys. But I'm not as invested. Look, Darby's a hell of a wrestler, and he'll do anything for the show. Put his body on the line, health, life, everything. Orange Cassidy is good for his spot. But do I believe that any of them are the guys that can save AEW from the Death Riders or anything like that? No. It's Ospreay, it's Swerve, and you just lost both of them, unfortunately. So, like, that's the problem I have when I say investment. Like, I believe now, they made me believe in Orange Cassidy because of the work that he did with Jericho. As a worker, as a wrestler. I can believe him as a wrestler now. Darby, the same thing with when he did the thing with Cody. I can believe in them as wrestlers. But now do I believe them as saviors of the company? Or, yeah, I know they're loyal to AEW. I know they'll do everything for AEW. But if I went to war, they're not one of my first couple picks. If I'm putting a team AEW together, you know, so that there's investing, and then there's investment as believing they're a superstar. Look how long it took for Roman Reigns, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they were pushing and fans were against it. And then all of a sudden, well, I'll go heel and I'll become the cool guy and I'll say, hey, that's not just a prediction. That's a spoiler. And then we'll pay him aside and put him with Heyman. And look what the hell happened after that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't long after that till everybody was like, okay, now we believe in this guy. You know, it's really about investment and believing in that they can be the next guy. Jacob Fatu. Everybody looks at him and goes, he's got it. He can be it. You know, that's the thing. Is like when you look at, you know, the rosters, young wise has done that for me, except maybe Fatu and those guys, you know. And then when you look at the other side, I Swerve, it's Osprey, and hopefully they come back from injury. I know Omega's banged up again, and I think that just goes back to him dealing with all the other issues that he's been dealing with. But that little aspect to me is, and again, that's just the way I watch wrestling. I need to invest and believe in you before I'm ever going to be able to sit there and think you're the next thing.
Josh says, "What up, Sean and Frankie? Will AJ Lee come on Friday?" We spoke about it. I think she will, and I think we kind of spoke about it during the AJ Lee return segment. So if you want to go back and take a look at what we said, we answered that question. I have another
And
question.
they're in Chicago as well, so that was the
Yeah,
other thing you pointed out, Frankie. So
I have another question. There's been this rumor going on about what happened with Matt Riddle. I don't know if you heard about it, that he was supposed to show up for like a charity event, and then he was a no-show and he got paid, and then now he came out saying that he was getting death threats and stuff like that because he was a no-show on it. Do you know much of what happened there?
no, just kind of what you just went through right there. It was overseas, and apparently he never left to even go there. So like I don't know what the um,
So here I'm getting this information from Wrestling News, and it basically states here that they're saying that Riddle did not he skipped out on a charity event and disappointed fans, while Riddle argues that he was lied about the publicity and always planned to pay back whatever he owed. Riddle did go on social media and actually posted a message of like what he and the, I guess, the promotion were having. So he did point out like the conversation that he was having with them. Now, my question to you is, because Riddle has been like in the stories a couple of times. He's also been talking stuff about CM Punk, and he actually went around saying that there was news also saying that um, Matt Riddle said that AJ Lee got around during the rant about CM Punk and all that stuff. So um what is your take in Matt Riddle? Do you think he's hurting himself? Do you think, because one of the biggest things that Matt Riddle had, he was very big in WWE, but he never had that discipline, that you know like kind of like that respect for the game, right? He was always kind of like going above and beyond and doing some crazy stuff. Do you feel Matt Riddle still is kind of like that childish attitude type of kid, or do you feel that Matt Riddle has is just running into some situation, he just wants to go ahead and build up some momentum, that way people could check him out indie shows and stuff like that? Or do you or like I said, do you still feel like he is kind of acting like a child and he hasn't learned from his mistakes?
no, I mean the problem is I don't know what he, you know, again, if they gave you money, you didn't show up, then you need to return the money. That's you know, you didn't even go. I'm kind of trying to read a story right here as you were talking. This is from Cultaholic, and again, take it for what it is. But I'm gonna read this just so we can. Yeah, no X stream today. I don't know what happened. For some reason, X would not connect. I don't know what's going on, man.
What's up,
I
Vince
don't know.
TV?
How we doing, Sammy? So this says earlier today, September 3rd, Cultaholic reported that former UFC fighter and WWE wrestler Matt Riddle no-showed a booking at a charity event in the United Kingdom on Sunday, August 31st. The first show from a new Al Snow affiliated promotion called Global Wrestling Kingdom booked Riddle for their A New Kingdom Rises in Barnsley, England, and had been advertising since May that the current MLW champ would face Simon Miller on the card. But when the fans arrived on Sunday, they were told Grotto would be facing Miller on the show instead. And then when they talked to Grotto, he said the former TNA star told Cultaholic how he came to be on A New Kingdom Rises, which you're talking about Grotto. He said, I got the phone call late Saturday night from Al Snow, Steve Linke, and Liam, the promoter, to make the 5-hour drive to Barnsley. I was a wee bit worried the fans would be upset at me being the replacement, as we are completely different wrestlers in more ways than one. However, the reaction was incredible, and the lads and lassies in the back absolutely burst their arses to give the fans a cracking show. Shout out to Simon Miller for being a tremendous pro. Also, sources told the site that GWK booked Riddle through his manager several months ago. As the show approached, Riddle expressed concerns about the flight he was booked on and that GWK was flying him in days before the show when he could be working elsewhere. The promoters tried to organize pro wrestling seminars so he could make some extra money while in the UK, but they were unable to finalize any events on such short notice. In their version, Riddle didn't cancel his booking, and when he didn't arrive as scheduled, told GWK that he'd taken other weekend bookings but would still fly in for the show. He didn't, which led to the promotion needing to issue refunds for canceled meet and greets. Wow. They claim Riddle has not returned the deposit he received from them for the booking. Instead of working a show that was said to be raising money for survivors of domestic abuse and homeless veterans, Riddle was backstage at Eric Bischoff's debut Real American Freestyle show in Ohio on Saturday night. On Sunday, he wrestled with his Wild Stallions tag team partner, Stallion Rogers, for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Their match has been billed as a singles outing for Rogers until showtime. Hours after the Cultaholic report circulated, Riddle posted a video on social media with his side of the story, which I'm guessing is here's 1 minute. I'll play it.
I'm gonna make this quick. GWK. The reason I didn't go is because you booked me a flight for Thursday for a show that's happening Sunday, and you said you were booking me meet and greets, other matches, and appearances. You did none of that. I had nothing scheduled, and I was going to sit in a hotel room for 2 days in London. I told you multiple times I can't do that or wouldn't do that, and I got work for Friday and Saturday. And Thursday. I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I told you I would fly to London Saturday evening. You said you paid for it. I go, no, you paid for it. Take it out of my pay, whatever. You guys refused. So I flew to Miami and wrestled there. All right? I never said I wouldn't pay you guys back. That's a lie. Also, this show wasn't a charity event. That's a lie. That was a last-second change. You also booked me the worst flight in history, bro. Middle seat, no meal, no check bag.
Oh, my God.
GWK, this is probably your last run.
Okay, so that was a
There
little
you go.
that was a little bit crazy, and people are saying it. Like Josh said, Riddle is not okay in the head. No wonder WWE left his ass.
Oh no, he's off his rocker on more ways than one.
There is a statement because he was the King of Bros added saying that, hey, he should have already paid them back their money. This is what he responded. He's like, yeah, I can, but you really didn't give me time before you lied to the public and slandered me. My lawyer will be contacting you, and I'll be sending whatever money you need in the next couple of days. Think about it. He's saying he's going to send money in the next couple of days. That means he already spent the money probably. Unless the slander does enough damage to me financially, then nobody has money. Enjoy my video because it's the truth. You have PayPal, Zelle, etc., or are you not gonna respond? So it's this guy is, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. It looks kind of crooked on Riddle's side. I mean, yeah, he said that, you know,
it's both sides. But see, this is the thing. Usually, when you have
no
kind
doubt.
of yeah, I saw that. And then Finn Sammy also said, Finn TV, I'm sorry, said he did the same in Puerto Rico. He was advertising, he canceled the day before.
That's bad, man. That's bad. Look
Here's
for
the
you.
one thing. Usually when you book somebody, you tell them, look, what do I need to do to get you on the show? They'll tell you $10,000. I'll be booked in any of these hotels. And they'll probably usually give you a list of ones, depending on what city. Again, Miami, Fort Lauderdale is a little different because usually they want to stay in like a, a nice, the Marriott or something, and then usually they'll want their money, and they'll tell you, I need a first class ticket, or if I don't get a first class ticket, I need to be in the aisles. Usually they tell you what. That's where I don't understand where, like, if again, this was booked 2 months ago, so you can't tell me the flight was booked to where you like had to get a middle seat or something like. Again, but again, it's one of those things to where you're never in the right when you no show a booking, and you just don't show up. Like, don't issue a statement before and be like, "Hey guys, I'm getting ahead of this. This is why I'm doing X, Y, Z. I will not be at the show. I'm letting you know my story now because you're probably going to hear the other side soon." To do it afterwards looks a little bit like.
And take the money too.
I need to cover myself. Yeah, like once you didn't show up, you should have sent the money right back.
Yeah.
And then also he was like, I was booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you showed up for a Sunday show in Boca Raton. Saturday you really weren't booked. You were backstage at a wrestling show. You weren't booked.
Yeah. It just looks like he's in his own crazy cuckoo head like he's always been. And
that's sometimes what happens, man, when you get to, again, man, I mean, he busted his ass to get his name, but now it seems like he's doing a lot more to hurt that name.
100%, man.
Unfortunately, so.
Yeah.
But it's rough because usually, like I said, you agree on everything, man. I mean, there's some guys that like, we did a thing at a Gold's Gym. We used to do our TV tapings. And they brought in Sandman. And his thing was he had to have a case of beer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is on his thing. Like, it's like, okay, they got a case of beer. I mean, like stuff is drilled down to that much, depending on where they're, and then some, when they're flown in, usually what they'll do is a student or somebody that like trains at the school will be assigned to drive them wherever.
Damn.
So that they don't have to waste any money or anything like that,
What kind of beer did he want?
I believe it was. I believe that. I don't know if he got it. I don't even know if you wanted a certain kind. I just know I was very scared when he said stay and he put a ladder on me and he went to the top rope to do a swanton, and I'd already known he'd already finished almost a case of beer. So.
Now, one last thing. Now that you bring up the beer,
Yep.
I did want to bring this up, and it was the whole Psycho Stu again situation with Rampage Raja Jackson, and Rampage came on. He was on the podcast with Ariel Hawani, and it looks like Rampage Jackson was kind of defending his son, and he was saying that there's more into it, and there's more like Psycho Stu is the type of wrestler, and I'm quoting what he's saying. I don't know the guy, so I don't know how for sure this is real or not, but he's saying that he was drunk, that he didn't know what he's doing, and that he does a lot of things because he's drunk. So he's kind of like a wild west type of wrestler out there because of his issues. And he was kind of defending his son. Now, he doesn't defend his son in the aspect of, hey, the punches that he threw, but he was defending his son in the sense that, hey, he got provoked. What do you have to say about Rampage Jackson's comments on this whole situation?
No, I mean, as more stuff comes out, I guess there was when I first read the story, my understanding was they had set up a angle type thing, I guess. I'm trying not to talk like but I think everybody understands what angle is. So they set up an angle. I thought he had hit Raja harder than he should have. Now what I'm understanding is he came with like a beer can, thought Raja was one of the other guys, and smashed the beer can on his head, the back of his head. Then the apologies were issued and things like that. And then it came into a thing to where okay, let's turn this into something. And this is where I say, again, there's a lot of fault to go around.
Yeah.
And again, I know nothing of anybody that works at Knox Pro or anything of there. But again, if that is the situation, why would you put that situation inside the ring? Like, that makes it to me even worse for, again, Raja has no comeback for how the punches and all that. That's way past everything else. But it never should have gotten to that situation if, all this stuff that we're hearing is accurate. You're like, you just threw the match on the gas. And you wanted that oh shit moment because people are going to be talking about it for weeks. And you got it.
Yep.
So, again, you just compounded wrong on top of wrong on top of wrong until you got what the hell happened?
Yeah. I mean, I was on record last week saying I don't blame the wrestling promotion for it, but after hearing all these things and these allegations and stuff like that, there's no way for me to go ahead and defend the wrestling promotion because
You shouldn't have been defending them last week because the first time you put that in the ring, like, that's your job, is to make sure that bullshit doesn't happen.
well,
As a
again,
promoter.
my defense on this was that Roger Jackson was apologized and was duping these guys, was convincing them that he was okay with it, when in
Yeah, but you don't
reality
get
he had a
worked
different
by a
mind.
worker. I mean, that's you don't get worked by the worker. I don't know what the hell. Come on, man.
I'm not saying that you don't get worked by the worker, but again, you've never worked with this guy. You want clout, you want people talking, you want people seeing. So you're gonna. It's like when we were having this conversation of you like saying, "Oh, why?" And I don't want to go back to it because we're gonna go back and forth. But the whole situation of like, why wasn't somebody looking at a stream? Why the hell would you be looking at a stream if you didn't expect him to react that way? You didn't. Nobody thought he was gonna go ahead and go that extreme. Is what I was
But
trying to tell
Frankie,
you.
you just said rewind back. Hold on. Nobody knew who Raja was
Nobody
or
also,
how he would.
but nobody
So
also
why
didn't
would you
expect him
not?
to do anything crazy.
What do you mean you don't expect? You don't know him. You
You
don't know him, but you said, "Hey, let's put him in the ring." That
well,
that
yeah,
makes no sense.
because the guy
Right there, you're
apologized.
wrong.
Because
Right there, you're wrong. It doesn't matter.
the guy
Doesn't matter.
apologized. The guy was
Doesn't matter.
handshaked and everything. So you would assume that he's
Doesn't
a
matter.
stand-up guy, and
No.
that meant something. Obviously, it wasn't.
No.
But now that you mention all this, I agree. I feel like the promotion did slack off, and they wanted something big to talk about, and it burned them. But people
Yeah,
are
no,
still talking
again,
about
as
it.
I said before, it was a little bit, again, Raja, there's nothing to say 22 punches. There's
Correct.
nothing you can say or anything there. Always in the wrong.
Yeah.
I played the video last week to where, Stu's going over and telling the ref and the manager to have him come in at that point. And I get that you don't, but again, it never should have got to the ring. They don't know him. If all this stuff they're saying about all these other guys are accurate, like why would you mix even more gasoline into this bomb that's already waiting to go off?
Yeah.
So that's where I say, like, that's to me where if you want to be professional and run a professional show, you don't do all the carny bullshit that used to happen back in the day.
Yeah. I agree. I can't defend the wrestling promotion. So it is what it is, my friend. One last thing, I think No Doubt said, didn't Ozzy request green M&Ms? I don't know what he means by that.
I think that's something that he always did, I believe. I think it's talking about Ozzy Osbourne. He always had green M&Ms or something like that, I believe is what it is.
I don't know. I didn't follow Ozzy that much like that. Only when he did the Ozzy Osbourne show. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a cool show.
No, there's a lot of craziness that's always but most everybody is agreed to your everything before you
Did
agree
you
to it to show up. I mean,
did you request anything?
no, no. I never got to like that, dude. I was never that guy.
No.
Never, nobody's flying me in anywhere. And then back in that time, I mean, when I was doing it, it was like you drove up the Ring of Honor, like 6 people in a car, and you hope to get on the show. Things like that. Like it wasn't like it is now to where, I mean, if I'd have known now what I know, if I'd have known then what I know now, it would have been a lot different.
I could tell you this. Your boy Fresco, he is a DJ. I've never had like that VIP type of clout, I guess. Like I've never been the type of person who asked for this or that. I will say this. When I DJ'd in the cruise ships, they did treat me as a VIP artist because I was the guest, like the high end guest DJ there. So they did give me a lot of things. They would give me VIP access. They would give me food. They would be like, "Hey, you get first dips on this. You get first dips on that. You are the first one to get into this cruise ship." Along with the rest of the entertainment, so that VIP thing was really cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did get perks. I was able to eat anywhere I wanted to because there was like certain sections in the cruise ship that you could on like the high end where the most expensive food is available. I would be able to eat there and actually eat for free. So it was I could understand once you get that clout and once you get that popular where you could start asking for like M&Ms. you know that it could get to your head. I'm not gonna lie, because when I was DJing at the cruise ships, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. It did get to my head a little bit. I felt like a star. I was like, damn, these people are treating me like fucking royalty out here. This is pretty cool.
Well, no, and to a certain extent, you've earned it to be. You're the VIP there. These guys have been in most of the guys that usually get this stuff have either been in WWE, made a name for themselves, AEW made a name for themselves, and they're able to bankroll off of said name.
Yeah.
Again, so but again, can it get again? I could sit there and you call me up and I'm like, I want $20,000. I want a first class ticket. I want the what is the penthouse at the Marriott, and they can just come back and be like, yeah, we're gonna go with another guy. We're gonna give him $50.
That's true.
And he's gonna stay at the Motel 6, and he's gonna be picked up by Uber.
What's wrong with Motel 6? I love Motel 6.
I don't know Motel 6. I'm just saying. Again, that's part of the negotiation tool. Because then you go back to say guy and be like, well, look, we can only do 5,000, but we can get you everything else. Okay, then you agree on it. That's the thing. Frankie is more than a star. He's a superstar.
I was. No, I never was. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to the point where I could go VIP and people will be like, yo, that's Fresco over there. Coincidentally, when I went to Vegas, I remember I went to the club and bro, there was like these TikTok streamers out there. Like I didn't know it was a guy from Miami actually. And obviously I was with Memo and Memo told me he's like, yo, those are all TikTok streamers. I'm like, really? And then he showed me and this guy had like 18 million followers. I'm like, holy shit. And they had only like a whole table.
I saw Paul G was pointing at you like, Frankie.
You know what's funny is that I feel a little bit of love. He didn't repost my story, but I did, record him and everything, and he did look at my story. So probably he did look at my. Maybe it was his. I don't know if they look at their TikTok and stuff like. Maybe it was just whoever manages his social media.
His handler looked.
His handler probably. So that type of stuff.
All right, Frankie Fresco, let them know where you're at, my man. Let them know all the stuff you got going on.
You guys are more than welcome to follow me at Frankie Fresco. Also, the Cameo Mix Show is actually starting in the next 10 minutes at 8 o'clock on IGR Miami. You guys are more than welcome to check it out. I'm going to drop the link on my social media in a couple minutes. So you guys are more than happy to check out the show. And then, of course, you could catch me here with Sean on the Square Circle Digest every Wednesday at 6. And hey man, anything you guys need from me, you ever want to hang out, ever want to check me out while I'm DJing and stuff like that, just hit me up on social media. I'm always available. I'm always ready to live it up superstar wise.
There it is. You can catch me at Stanley Media _11, Stanley Media House Network, everywhere else on social media. Please go hit the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe, hit the like, let people you know. Anybody that has bots, send them over to me. I need 140 to get to 1K. Appreciate each and every one of you that's been on today. No Doubt was in. Josh was in. Who the hell is that? Eastern Polygeicus. Thank you.
One of the
Make
bots.
sure you go check out, the streamboo.com. Check it out. Remove the space, though. Remove the space.
Yes.
Josh, I said Vince TV was there. Let's see who else we got. Steven was in. Shackleman was in. Appreciate you. EA Minutes was in. I don't want to skip over our guys again. Judge was in. Adrian was in. Jordan Kirby, appreciate you for being in there. I think I said Steven Gonzalez already. And me, Papa, was in as well. So I want to thank each and every one of you that was in today. And will you guys go to Halloween Horror Nights? I will be going to Halloween Horror Nights.
Where was my invite?
Well, I don't know what day I'm going yet. The kid's birthday weekend, we're heading up there to go to Epic as well. So that's the 12th. That's October 12th. So that weekend I'll be broadcasting the pre and post from Orlando.
I do want to go to Halloween Horror Nights because I do want to see the haunted house for the White Six. So I'm gonna
pretty badass, man. There's TikToks where people walk through it all, and again, you don't get to see everything on it, but it's pretty badass, and there's a lot of things in there that's pretty cool. Like they have the tape stacked up, and it has everybody that's been involved with Bray Wyatt. Luke Harper. It has all their signatures on the tapes, which is a pretty cool little thing there. So there's a lot of little things there, and there's probably more that people didn't pick up on. That was, Josh already went this week.
nice. So you recommend it? He says it's awesome. I went last weekend.
6, yeah. So Josh, real quick, and again, I mean, you can spoil it because however else, was there any other like little tidbits that you saw that might have been something that could be picked up on if you watched the wrestling? Because there's people on the TikTok that really didn't know wrestling. They just knew that it was a house. So I just wondered if there's anything else on there that before we head out. You've got 10 seconds, sir. There's a minute delay.
I think they also gotta put like a Goldberg haunted house there.
Goldberg should be the one that's laid out where Chad Gable is.
Actually, it would be cool if they kind of reference that on the haunted house, the Chad Gable type of.
Well, I know they did the backstage attack, but I don't know who was there or who wasn't. So
That's cool.
on there, I know Kevin Owens went through the house and said it was amazing and a great tribute. Bray would love it.
Oh, nice.
So
maybe they'll keep it and they'll do it next year too.
yeah, I mean, if they keep the whole thing going with WWE, I'm sure they will. Maybe they'll figure out a different one. Maybe we'll get an Undertaker's graveyard at some point too.
Oh, that would be good. It says just.
Oh, just go to see. You don't want to spoil it. All right, fine. You're gonna make me go. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Josh.
You're all the way to Orlando now. Thanks.
Now I gotta go.
And
God damn it.
Frankie Fresco, thank you for your time, my friend. I appreciate you. being here
Sure.
tonight.
I
Every Wednesday,
will.
6 p.m. will be here.
Guys, don't forget if we get a chance, please, whenever you can. I mean, I don't like to go ahead and ask, but because Sean has the dial-up connection, if you ever want to go and support us, send us a super chat. That way, Sean could get a better dial-up connection and upgrade to like UVerse or something, and we could have a better view of Sean.
It's just me and my camera moving. I'm fat, man. It doesn't pick up all the jiggling. It's a problem. I'll get in better shape.
You're
I
a big
promise.
one. You're a big
By
one.
next episode, I'm gonna drop 2 pounds.
I'm running a 5K run, so I'm screwed. I got that next month, so I'm trying to lose some weight.
5K run. I'm done with those 5Ks, buddy.
You want to do
Done.
a 5K run with me? We can do one. It's in
You
October.
know what? If you can count to 10 before I hit the button to transition out,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I
8,
will
9, 10.
do it.
There it is. Just did it.
No, I didn't tell you to go yet. I didn't say go yet. When I say go. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State. Go.
10.